Why do I have like of people's messages on the bottom here? Apparently it's live, but it's like a whole bunch of stuff that's scrolling across my screen instead. But okay, yes, I've got it. Hold on, I've got to turn on the song that I was listening to, but I turned it off because I wanted to hear Zoe. And I'm going to turn down my volume a little so I can talk. So let's put my phone over here and move my microphone so I can hear. Hi, it's Monique. I'm here. And if you're wondering why I'm holding this cute little stuffed zebra, it's because I didn't have a stuffed cat. And apparently today you can buy for $545 a stuffed cat that looks like Karl Lagerfeld's cat. You know, like the fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld, the one with like the fan with like the crazy hair and always wears a designer suit. Well, you can buy a stuffed cat that looks like his. I don't know. I wouldn't buy a stuffed cat. I think that I would probably just, if I really wanted to look like him, I'd go to the SPCA and I would get a real cat that's white. And I'd be like, Fancy's Feast, you know, because that's the, I know it doesn't look like the Fancy Feast cat, but that's what it reminds me of. Anyhow, this is really soft. I think I'm going to hold him for the rest of the broadcast. Plus, he's cute. Anyhow, hi. Today I want to talk about photography. And I don't know. I'm going to talk about the D80 camera. I have it here beside me. But I'm putting it in my lap so it's facing the camera. There. But yeah, so the D80 camera. And I don't have a card in it, but it still takes photos. Like it still snaps the shutter open and closed and stuff. So I'm going to talk about this. This is like my first real SLR camera. So I want to talk about that. And I'm going to talk about light meters too. And a couple other things, just like photography wise today as well. And I'm getting a whole bunch of phone calls today. People are crazy today. So, here's just a quick peek of what it looks like. So we're going to talk about that. Okay? And I hope you can hear me properly because I have this big mic over here. Oh, so that you can hear me. But yeah, I had a really crazy day today. It was so busy and so many phone calls and so many interviews and so much running around and everything. But the craziest part of the day was actually when I was going home and this lady was like, so we're at a four-way stop and I'm stopped for these kids and we're like a block away from school. And so I stop because I could see they're coming and they walk across the street and they're halfway across the street, not in front of my car yet. And they're in front of her. And she starts driving through the intersection. I was like, holy shit, you know? I've never seen that before. I was like, they're not even across the street yet. They're not even out of your way of the car, like an SUV. They'd be crushed to death if she had gone. And I was just like, you are nuts. But the worst part was that there was a boy who was crossing the street on my side and hadn't made it to her yet. And, you know, there's a bunch of traffic around, so everybody's watching. And she had to stop in the middle of the intersection so that he could safely get across. And you could see he was hustling across because you could tell when someone wants to run you down. I was just like, whew. Sometimes, you know, you wish that the police were right there just so they could give someone a ticket. Just, I'm listening to a bunch of Calvin Harris songs right now. This one's Drinking from the Bottle. You know that one. Just look it up, Google it, or go onto Spotify and you can listen to it. I'm pretty sure it's called Drinking from the Bottle. It's from that CD called 18 Months. So that was really cool, actually. I loved almost every single song. There was I Need Your Love. That's the collaboration with whatever her name is. Is it Ellie Goulding? And then Sweet Nothing. I love that one. And then this is... no, I don't think this is what you came from. That was after. But Here to China and stuff like that. All those songs were off of 18 Months. So that's pretty awesome. At least I thought it was awesome. Listening to this song called The Silence by a guy named Cassius. And yeah, I like to turn it up so loud in the car. It's so bad. But whatever. Nobody can hear when you're on the highway. Sorry, I'm just changing my song. It's kind of weird that I'm number 5 on YouTube, right? Like YouTuber right now. I think it's because Zoe is broadcasting and I really wanted to watch it, but I really need to do my broadcast today because, like, I need to do other things in the evening. Hey, thanks for watching. But yeah, like I said, I should actually get back to the schedule. I'm going to talk about light meters, and I'm going to talk about this again, and I'm going to talk about the D80 camera and the lens that I've got on it. And I want to talk about, well, maybe I'll say this first. Has anybody noticed that Miley Cyrus and Katy Perry now look like they switch bodies? Like, am I going crazy? Have you seen Katy Perry? She's like shaved all of her hair off and it's blonde on the top and she's super skinny. When I first saw this picture of her yesterday, I was like, Miley Cyrus. But then I looked close and it was like, that's Katy Perry. And now Miley Cyrus has a new CD out and it's like she's gone backwards. She's become tame again. Her hair is super long. She looks like the Miley Cyrus from before, you know, walking through wheat fields kind of Miley Cyrus. So it's just like, they look like they've exchanged heads, you know, and they've taken each other's style. It's really weird. I don't know. I'll listen to it. I'll see what it's all about. It'll be cool. So yeah, I'm hugging this plushie today because I saw that for $545 you can get a plushie toy, not like this, but a stuffed cat that looks like Karl Lagerfeld's cat. You know, Karl Lagerfeld, the designer. I think he's from Italy. Or maybe not, maybe from like Germany. Karl's a German name, right? But yeah, so he carries a fan all the time and a cat. If you remember Karl Lagerfeld, he's blonde and, you know, wears sunglasses and suits and stuff. But you can have a stuffed cat that looks exactly like his stuffed cat. Anyhow, yeah. So, what else do I want to talk about? Well, maybe I'll just go right into it. So, ooh, here is a D80 camera. Oop. And I'm actually charging the other battery right now. I thought about fixing this D80. I mean, it's fine. It still takes pictures and stuff, but every now and then it gets kind of caught on an error message. So I think it's just because the battery is dying. Not the battery, the motor. But this is what it looks like on the back. We'll just turn it on so you can actually see, oops, the menu. That's what the menu looks like in there. Okay, and all the buttons on the side are usually the same on Nikon cameras. Here. There's one to zoom in, zoom out, and then like when you press the alternate button, that's when you get to choose like the menu and the white balance and whatever, ISO. And then on the side, there's like a ton of ports. You can open it up so you can see. Okay, and there's a little one on the bottom, but I don't want to open it because obviously you can see how difficult it is for me to put it back together. There's an autofocus and a manual. That's just for the lens that you're using. You can do it on the lens too. Right, and the dial is the same as the other camera I showed you yesterday. And on here it's in 18 to 70, and like you can tell by the words, as you can see, it says 18, and then it goes 24, 35, 50, 70. And this is a Nikkor lens by Nikon. It says everything on the top. This one is, what is it? I can't even see it. Ugh. 4.5G. Wow. How did I buy that? Why did I buy it? That's what the window looks like at the top. See, that's what I mean by the error message that I've got in there. There's no card in there. I should show you the top again. In the newer camera, on like the D2X, I've got, and on my other camera, I've got this on the bottom part, actually. So all the buttons are the same, but they're just moved around a little bit. This one doesn't have the little, you know, thing for the flash sync that I have on my other camera. Sorry, I'm changing the song because I don't want to listen to Green Sleeves, even though I really like some of those kind of folk songs. Not today. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. It takes really good photos for an old kind of camera. The kind of card it uses, it's like a little SD card instead of the regular compact flash card that Nikon cameras use. But yeah, that's how you take your photo. Ah, can you hear that? I wonder if I put it on like multiple, then you could, like right now it's on single shot, so let's see. I don't remember how to do that on here. I don't want to lock it either. Whatever, we'll figure it out another time. But I wanted to show you that instead of using the regular D2X, and I'm so excited because I'm getting the exact same copy of this camera, the D2X, in a couple weeks. I'm so excited. But yeah, that's one thing. And don't worry, I will do the video about the unboxing of my little, you know, GorillaPod, because that's supposed to come in a couple more days. I'm counting down the days. Yay! So that's going to be really cool. I'm getting a phone call at the same time. But yeah, so I wanted to talk to you about the light meter, an incident light meter. This. I also wanted to talk to you about a mass storage device and how you use Final Cut Express and iMovie without eating up all of the space on your computer. So first, let's talk about this Seaconic light meter. I'm going to take off the back so you can see it takes one battery. And you use this if you are not sure about the light in your photo. Say you're taking a professional photo outside or you're in a studio or something like that. So you use this meter. And what you do is, so you have your lighting set up so you can have soft boxes or whatever. You can have your camera on a tripod. And then what you do is you have your model sit down. And you can either have the model hold it up to their face like this and tell them when to press the button. Or you can have an assistant do it. Or you can have like a trigger in your hand for your camera and you can do it. But what happens is, first you use this one and you line it up to where the light falls on their face and you press this button on the side. Okay? Do I have any juice in it? There. Okay, so those are the settings right now. Like, if you look very closely, it tells you how much battery power is in it. It tells you that we're using sunlight right now. It tells you the ISO is 400 and so on. All of the settings. You can change the ISO and then change your hot lights or your studio lights to match this. Basically the same thing. So I'm going to just take a meter reading. You see, changed. Let's go closer to my face, take another reading. You see what I mean? So that's how you use it. The power buttons on the top. Oops, right there. The mode is here. And then on the side, that's the button that you press to take it. And then this one, you just go up and down through your settings on it. So if I want to change the ISO, I press the ISO button and then I press those up and down buttons. Let's see if I can do it right here so you can see me do it. There. So you can scroll through the ISO and so on. And that's what I mean by those two little buttons on the side. That's how you use it. Nothing super special. It's just an aid that helps you to take better pictures and helps you to... I was holding it like my microphone for a second. I have a microphone that I do interviews on and I just go all the time. So I was holding it like that. But yeah, it just helps you to take better pictures. You can use it with flash as well. And as you can see, there's a part where you can connect it to like a flash sync cable and connect it to your hot light so that when you take pictures, it works that way too. So I wanted to show you that. And in a second here, after I take a drink because my throat is so raw. I will show you my drive. Excuse me. So this is my drive that I use. Normally I use like flash drives and stuff to store paper document like information, like a file or a story. But this is where I back up all of my pictures right now. I'm gonna go get another one soon. This one's not full, but I just don't like to put everything on one. I like to separate it just in case. Anyhow, that's the power button on the bottom. That's a USB. What's this one? HDMI, I think. This one is a FireWire. And then you've got like a second FireWire. I don't think they're the same. But yeah, those are the ports. And you turn it on by pressing there. And so what happens is, I think this one is like, I don't know if it says on the bottom. It doesn't say on the bottom, but it's huge. It's like, I want to say certain number of terabytes, but yeah, it's big. It's big. So I have tons of space for photos and stuff for projects and all that. Anyhow, so what you do when you want to use a big program like Final Cut Express, that's what I use sometimes and what I'm going to be doing tutorials on. So Final Cut takes up a huge amount of space on your computer. So you could download the program on your computer, but I would suggest that you plug in that drive at the same time as your computer is on. Wait until the icon shows up on your desktop. Then when you download or like use the CD to install it, then you put it on. Hey, how's it going? Then you put it on. Well, I should start again and talk about this. I was showing everybody how to use this mass storage device, this drive. So when you're using a program like iMovie or Final Cut Express, the program is like super huge. So you need a lot of space. It's going to like, hi, yes, I see you. It's going to take a lot of space to use it. So you plug that in. You can use a USB, but I would say use a FireWire because you're going to be able to transfer. Thank you for the 50 likes. But yeah, so you I just lost my train of thought. Okay, but so yeah, you plug it in and then you start your program and you download the program straight onto the drive, but you can use it if you're using a Mac, you can open the program on the drive while it's plugged in. And so if you want to actually make a video or edit a video, you can edit it and save it directly onto the drive so it doesn't eat up any space that's on your computer, right? So I would suggest doing that if you use Final Cut Express. Thank you. Oh, you're so nice. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I would do that, especially with iMovie if you're starting out at first. Plug in a drive. It doesn't have to be a super like 5 terabyte drive like this one. You just, thank you so much for the hearts. Oops. There you go. Ah. Anyhow, so you don't need to get a super big drive, but you need something that's big enough that you're going to be able to save a program like iMovie on it. Because say if you do 3 or 4 YouTube videos at one time, it's going to like eat up all the memory on your computer, and then it's going to be like, I'm sorry, you know, we can't save this, or you can't, you know, share it successfully. It'll be like in iMovie, I think it'll say share failed or something like that if it doesn't work. I said earlier, so the reason why I'm holding this plushie here, even though it doesn't look like a cat, it looks like a zebra. Today, Karl Lagerfeld, so he's a fashion designer in Italy, and his trademark is he wears black suits and he has white hair and sunglasses, and he carries a fan, a black fan, and then he has a cat, and it's like a white cat that looks like a white tiger. It's like that's how it's coiffed. Anyhow, so today you can get a stuffed toy for $545 in Germany. That looks exactly like his real cat. So you too can have the little cat. Well, let me see what it looks like. Today I actually went on Pinterest. I wanted to show you guys what I wore on Pinterest today. Let me see. I think I took a picture of it because I wanted to like walk around in my closet. But that's the outfit that I wore today. Like literally I had the same jacket, same purse, same everything except for the shoes. So it was cool. It was super hot again today. Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever been to that website, Musical.ly. Okay, I will. I took some new photos and put them on my Instagram. I think I might do a little video today too. Whoops. Let me show you. So this was the last photo of me going on my Instagram. I look so upset. I'm staring off somewhere. But it was a military jacket that I was wearing the other day. That's the jacket that was like the same jacket that I wore in the Pinterest thing. So that's really cool. I'm going to post this video today, and then after I'm going to show you guys the iMovie video that I did the other day. So that's going to be cool. Let me just go to my YouTube page so you can see. Please follow me on Instagram. That is really nice if you do. You can follow me on YouTube too. I would appreciate it, please. Please, 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 please. Okay, I better stop that. That looks kind of crazy. But yeah, there is my YouTube channel. Oops. That's my channel. And yeah, it's Massiah on fire, Massiah, not the other one, like the Bible. But yeah, so today I talked about the light meter. I talked about mass storage devices. I talked about how Katy Perry now looks like Miley Cyrus, and Miley Cyrus looks like Katy Perry. They look like they switched bodies. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, they look like they switched bodies. And it's really weird. So Miley Cyrus is no longer, right? She's now like this really classy kind of looking person. And Katy Perry is still wonderful. I love all of her songs, but she literally has the same haircut that Miley Cyrus did when they were doing the blurred lines kind of thing with Robin Thicke. It's really different, I guess. I'm just so shocked that that cat, a stuffed toy, is $500. Like almost $600, $550. It's crazy. Right now I'm listening to some trance because yesterday one of my favorite, well, when I was a kid, one of my favorite artists died, and I was just like, oh my gosh. It's so sad when people are young and they pass away, and it's just like, you had so much ahead of you. Let's not talk about that anymore. Let me change the song to something upbeat, like Boom Clap. I love that song for some reason. I don't know why. It's actually really comfortable. It's almost like a pillow. To squeeze the life out of it. It's a good thing that I don't have a pet cat. Because I would sit there and be like this all the time. I'm like this with the dog sometimes. It's just like, and you can tell it like stares at you and turns its head, and like I think our dog is like so cuddled that it doesn't even move anymore. It's like, okay, I'm used to now being the squeezed plush toy, right? I'm using this big microphone this time because the other time I forgot and was using like the inner microphone of my camera. And so this is a Yeti microphone. Lots of people on YouTube and on YouNow have it, I noticed. It's like my first like semi-professional microphone. it works very well. I can do podcasts and stuff with it. I used to do a podcast every month. I'm not doing some of those too often. I used to have like a newsletter and everything. So I might pick it up again. The other night I put on Blogger some links to the covers of newspapers where I have photos. So go check that out. I'm on Blogger to Monique Massiah, so you can see it. Hey, a new person is watching. Tom 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 To. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna say your thingy, Emma Beth 2007. Let me know if you want to guest anytime too, and let me know what happened with your vlogging, if you've started vlogging yet. Yes, I know I'm petting the stuffed animal, but it's comfortable, and yeah. Thank you for becoming a fan. I painted my nails this color, and now it's only been like 2 days and they're already chipping and like the paint is coming out. Like, these are my real nails, they're not fake. And so like I do so much typing. I type like 1,000-word story every day, right? And so it's just like, as you can see, this is like the life of a writer. I've got ink all over my fingers and all that, and yeah, and like newsprint cast off and all of that on it. But it's totally ruining my nails. Look at that. And that's a nervous kind of thing where I'm like this, or I'm like touching the mouse with that hand. So it's just like ruined the nails. You need to have acrylic nails, or go and get, what's that stuff? That they put on your enamel. What? Not enamel. I can't remember the word. So I watch the news every day. I don't want to talk too much about the news because it's crazy, right? But I did find something really funny. So I always enjoy watching Saturday Night Live when they make fun of Sean Spicer, and just because it's like really realistic. Anyhow, so apparently what happened was Sean Spicer, and everybody wasn't prepared for the by Donald Trump, and so all the staff, they were like hiding in the bushes with the journalist and everything. And when the journalist caught them in the bushes, they were like, turn off the lights, turn off all the lights. And they did. And then after, it was just like, oh, okay. I don't know. It's just weird. You know, why would you go hide in the bushes? Hi. Thank you for watching Day of the Unicorn. So as I was saying, I do have this zebra plush toy with me today that I'm kind of squeezing the life out of, because today I saw that you can have your own plush cat. I know this is a zebra, but you can have a plush cat that looks exactly like Karl Lagerfeld's cat. Which I think is really cool. I'm listening to like the weirdest song. It's like a what is that, from Kill Bill, the first movie? That certain female, I think it's the part where they're driving, like, I think it's like the Texan kind of sheriff, and they're driving to the church where you find the bride and the wedding party and all that. I'm just changing the song. So today I talked about this giant microphone, a Yeti microphone. I didn't really say a lot about it, but basically it improves the sound of your YouTube videos quite a bit, and you can do things like podcasts with it, and you can have like music auditions and stuff like that. I haven't used it for music yet, but I've used it for podcasts and doing YouTube videos and so on. And it improves the sound over what I was using for the headset, and also for like your audio on your camera. Audio on your computer. And I showed you guys my original D2X camera, because this is a camera channel and photography channel. So this is the D2X, and it's got a 50mm lens on it. And literally the 50mm lens is the one that you use for portraits, basically. And a portrait is like this. And a landscape is like this. Okay? And so I'm so excited because in a couple weeks I get a brand new D2X. This one's broken. The shutter inside of it's broken. So it can still take pictures, but every now and then the pictures are like white, you know. So it's still a pretty good camera, and I'll use it for demonstrations and such, but it's broken now. So I have to get a brand new one, and it's not too expensive. I think that the one that I'm getting is like $400. So the D2X camera, like I say all the time, is kind of like in the professional series of Nikon cameras. And the camera that I'm using right now as my backup is like the semi-professional series. So I also showed this one, which was my first SLR, and it is a D80 Nikon camera, and there's an 18 to 70 lens on it. And I forgot to turn it off. Portrait, landscape. But what I wanted to say is that if you just go to Wikipedia and you look up Nikon camera, so I'm going to do that right now just to prove myself right. Okay, and Nikon cameras. And I think it shows up comparison of Nikon cameras. And so there's a big list of all the dimensions and the height and blah, blah, blah of the cameras. And it just goes on forever. I don't think this is the right list, but, oh, okay, yes it is. So there's a big kind of thing that it's a chart of the timelines and for comparison of the cameras by Nikon. And so there's like the professional series, which is the D1, D1X, D2X, D2XS, and then the D3. And then after that, there's no other professional cameras other than like the D3X. That's it. So that's like the number one. And so I'm getting another D2X. Right? So then there's under professional, there's high end. And then in high end, well, semi-professional, there's like a D1H. I don't think they make those ones anymore, but D2H, D3, D3S, D4, D5. Everybody when I was in school had a D5, and I was like, why are you paying out that much money? Like literally $5,000 for this camera, when you could just use a really good high-end professional one and not be like the top of the line one. Anyhow, so after that is high end, and that's the D800, and like, I don't know, I think they made one other one that was like D810 or something like that. Then you have an advanced series of cameras. So like you go from the professional high-end to advanced, and that's where you find the D700. So I've got one of those as well. And then I have like, well, there's a D750, but I don't have that yet. Then semi-advanced is like D100, D200. I have one of those. And a D300, D300S, D500. So they have like lots of different kinds of cameras. And then when you get to mid-range, that's where they talk about the D80. This one. Right? So that was one of my first SLRs, like I said. And then under that is like upper entry, and those are the ones that they're selling to you on TV. So is it Ashton Kutcher? I think it is. He's the spokesperson for Nikon. So that's when you'll see like the D7000 or the D60 or, you know, the D3300. Those are like entry-level cameras. That's why I use the D3300 as my backup camera. So that's an explanation. I hope it helps a little bit. But so Nikon cameras have like 5 or 6 levels. So you have entry level, upper entry, mid range, advanced, high end, professional. Right? So like the D2X one that I show you all the time is like the professional one. And that one was in like 2007, I think, that they came out with it. And there hasn't been a professional high-end Nikon like the D3 since 2012. The D5 was 2017. But that one is semi-professional. So that's what I mean when I talk about, oh, I'm getting another D2 or D2XS or whatever. I'm getting another super professional Nikon camera. That's what I mean. That's all. It's not like anything super, super special. It's just that I mean that that's the category of how they do it. So it's kind of weird when you watch like the Nikon camera commercials with Ashton Kutcher, because it's like, unless you looked at that chart, you don't understand that they're selling you something for an entry-level photographer. They're not selling you a professional photographer's camera. Hi everybody who's new, who's watching. Day of the Unicorn, and oh my god, what? Oh my god, OMG, it's Selim, I can't say your name, Gnavi G, and Black S. Hello. That was like an open heart. I have to get my mom something for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is Sunday. At least it's over here. I don't know if it's Mother's Day every day, like everywhere in the world, but it's Mother's Day on Sunday. So yeah. Anyhow, I was talking about the different types of cameras that you can get. Please visit my YouTube channel. Oh my god, I'm totally paused there for no reason. I was thinking at the same time. But also visit my Instagram. There's my Instagram page. There it is. There's Monique. And I take a picture every day. But today I was driving and I thought, oh, why didn't I take a picture of this? But I should have. I should have had my phone in the car, but I don't like having it in the front seat of the car because then it kind of distracts you and you could be like texting and driving. So I put it in the back specifically. But today I saw a hopper on the highway. So a hopper, if you don't know, when you go out into the country, a hopper is like the big machine that they line up. Like say you're harvesting grain, right? They line it up with a semi-truck. So those big trucks that go on the highway. And they line this thing up and it's got like a rotor on the front that pulls the seeds off of the stalk. And then the seeds get sucked up by a conveyor belt and it goes into this big, big container at the back of this thing, right? So, hey! I really don't know how to say your name, Bursalikazo, but hello. So I'm explaining what I saw on the highway. So it's this big machine that sucks the grain up, and then it goes into the back of the machine, and then the truck travels at the exact same time, the exact same speed as it, and it opens up this chute, and then the grain flies in the truck, and then when the truck is full, the truck pulls away. So I saw it on the highway today, which is shocking, okay? So when I lived out in the country, you'd see those in the field. That's how they do harvest here. And it takes like a couple hours or whatever, days to get a huge field done. But I've never seen one of those driving on the highway. It takes up a whole lane and a half of the highway. That's how big it is, okay? And it's like this big tractor with this big thing on the back. Like you could drive a car probably underneath it. It's huge. And I was like, oh my God. When I saw it in the distance, so I moved over into the other lane so I could have a lot of space. But you don't usually see, obviously they need to move them from wherever to another place. But I was just so shocked to see it. I should have taken a picture, but like I said, I'd like to keep those things in the back of the car, like the phone in the back, so that I don't get distracted and I'm not like, I'm trying to drive and take a picture of the hopper. Let's see if I can find a hopper so I can show you what it looks like, actually. And then you'll understand why I was so shocked to see it. Sorry, somebody's calling me at the same time. I'm listening to Chris Brown, Beautiful People right now. So I'm just like, it's at the very beginning. I'm like going like this because I don't want everybody to see my sports bra. I have to work out so much. Oh my gosh. But let me see. Let me go to Google. This is a BlackBerry phone, a BlackBerry Priv. I love it. I love it. Oh, so this is the GorillaPod that I showed yesterday. Whoop. I know you didn't see he was calling me. But that's a GorillaPod that I got yesterday. Is it still up there? Yeah, it is. Okay, but that's what's going to be coming in the mail. I'm so excited. But let me see if I can find... I want to find a grain hopper. And I want to see images. It was the hopper, like the thing that's attached to it, but I'm talking about like the combine. That's what's on the road with the tractor. I'm sorry if you don't live in a country area. Oh, here's one. So, this is what I saw on the highway. Now, it doesn't really do it justice right there because it's a huge one that I saw. But I was like, holy, this is what I mean. Like I don't know if I can make the picture bigger. Okay, there. So that's what's on it that collects the grain and like takes it off of the stalk. And then there's like a thing on the side that empties into one of these. But it was a huge one of those that I saw. Like it took up so much of the highway. I thought, this person is driving this thing on the highway? So dangerous. And this is what I mean. Like that's a semi-truck. That's how big the machinery is. So that's, I guess you can see the scale. Right? It's huge, like way bigger than a car. And so that's why I was like, I can't believe we're on the highway with this thing. And it was traveling fast, like as fast as something like that could go. I don't know, maybe 50 kilometers an hour. Hello, new people watching NK radio. I don't know how to say your name, but I will try to not massacre it. I'm holding this because, like I said, today you can buy Karl Lagerfeld's stuffed cat for $545. And if you go to Germany, that's where they're selling it, in Germany. So if you go onto my Twitter page, Monique Massiah, you will see that I retweeted it, a video of this girl who's petting the stuffed cat. She's already got it. I was just like, oh, it's so cute. But why don't you just go get a cat if you really want Karl Lagerfeld's cat? Just go get a white cat from the SPCA, and I'm sure it'll be much more nice, and like the cat will purr and you'll be able to like squeeze the life out of that, or get a stuffed toy or something. So I talked about this mass storage device. If you want to use iMovie to upload videos to YouTube, or if you want to use Final Cut Express, those programs are really, really big. And so you don't want to eat up a whole bunch of space on your computer. So what you do is you get like a terabyte drive or something like that, and use FireWire or USB. I don't use USB because it takes too long, but use a FireWire, and you can plug it into a Mac computer because usually they have a FireWire port or USB port. And that's how you edit your videos. You download the program onto the drive directly, and then when you want to use the program, you just make sure the drive is plugged in and turn on the program. So when you're saving all of your documents straight onto the drive, and it doesn't save anything onto your computer. So if you lose something, it's not on your computer, it's on that. And you can also, I use this one to back up my Mac. I use one of these. You know the program, I think it's called Time Machine. So I use that to back up automatically everything. I think people should use Time Machine. It's a really, really great program. And it kind of makes like a disk image almost of whatever it was. And so like you can back it up to how many ever years, and just you can scroll through the months and everything. And if you want to use a program that you had in 2016, you just go back to that date in 2016, and that's what your desktop looked like. And those are all the programs that were on your desktop. So Time Machine, really cool. Get a Mac computer. If you want to work with photos, get a Mac computer. One thing I don't like about the brand new Mac, like right now I'm using a MacBook Air, there's no card reader port, you know? So you have to get an adapter to use a card reader, which is ridiculous. There used to be the card reader inside of the computer, and it makes things faster, and now there's no more card reader. So I don't know, maybe they think that people just are going to wirelessly send their pictures from their camera. And yeah, lots of cameras nowadays have that capability to wirelessly send the picture from the camera to your computer, but some people don't, and some pictures are huge. What if you're taking a RAW file? So a RAW file you can use with like a Nikon camera or a Canon camera, right? And a RAW file is kind of like, just like I said, like you can take JPEGs and say a JPEG could be like 5 megabytes or it could be 25 megabytes. A RAW file is going to be like 50 megabytes or 75 megabytes, right? People like to take pictures in JPEGs for newspapers because they're small, they don't lose a lot of information from the original picture, and you know, they're a small file that you can use in a paper. But people who want to like do designs and like really fancy portraits, they want to have more capability in photo editing software to change the picture, and that's why they use RAW files. And yet, like I said, RAW files are huge files. So yeah, I don't see anybody wirelessly sending a RAW file to their computer. They use a card, so they can save it on the card and then go back and they make a copy of it from the picture that is on the card, just so that they can, you know, have the original and make a layer, and that's where they do all the changes. Because you don't want to lose, like every time you save a picture, you lose a tiny little bit of the original picture. So yeah, that's why people in newspapers and stuff, they take JPEGs and they don't take TIFFs or RAW files. Hello, new person watching. Ambrose Umbreon, sorry, I don't know how to say your name, but hello everybody. I love you guys for watching. I'm not going to actually be on for very long. I'm just on for an hour usually. But like I said, this is Karl Lagerfeld today that I saw on Twitter that you can get his stuffed cat for $545. And earlier on, and I'm going to show it just one other time. Oh. Hello, the Punisher. What's up? I love that saying. How did you know that? Do you remember when they had that commercial? Was it a Budweiser commercial? I think it was a Budweiser commercial where they had, I want to say someone who looked like little Wayne, who had like big dreadlocks. They're drinking a beer, these two guys, and like cave, and they were like, what's up, what's up, what's up? You know, it was awesome. And then they called their friends and they're like, yeah, that was cool. Anyhow, so I showed the light meter and I told you guys how to use it. Let me just turn it on. There's the power button. This is a Seaconic light meter. And so if you're taking pictures with this camera, so what you do is you take a picture, snapshot or whatever, and say, you go, oh my gosh, it's so bright and blown out, or it's so dark, and you know, you want to adjust the picture and say you're outside. Instead of just continually doing the metering in the camera and flipping the dial and all that, what you do, sorry, I just want to put it down. What you do is you get your model to stand wherever you want, like in between, like say you're under a tree, in between the branches so you can get sunlight come down on them. And then you get them to hold this. And then you get them to press the metering button, this one, on the side. So I'm going to press it. And as you can see, the ISO changed, the f-stop changed, the light kind of, like the kind of light it's in and everything is on there. If it was flash, it would show on the little section that says flash right there. So, you know, you get them to stand next to it and it takes the light around or the light that just falls on them and so on. It takes the meter of it. And so you take that reading and you put the reading into your camera. So if the ISO is 320, then you do it on 320. Like for example, if it's a bright day out, the sun's out, it's super bright, you want to have your ISO on 100. So you take the meter with ISO 100, see what the other readings are, set your camera to it, and then it's going to be a perfect picture every single time when you use a light meter. So it's a really cool trick to get great photos if you're a portrait photographer or if you're a studio photographer. You don't want to put in the time to actually have to, you know, flip around in the camera and everything to get a good picture. You just take the meter and then set your camera to it. Okay, so I have to go soon. But yeah, I took a whole bunch of pictures today. I ran around like crazy. I did a bunch of interviews because that's my job. I'm a journalist. So, not just any journalist, a photojournalist. I heard that there's going to be a show out that is The Life of Kylie or something like that, like Kylie Jenner's reality TV show. Kind of weird. I wonder if it's going to be a spin-off of Keeping Up with the Kardashians or something like that. I don't know. When it comes out, I'll see. I don't like to watch the previews or stuff like that. I like to be surprised. Like Revenge Body, I watched a little bit of it. I don't know. It seems like a cool idea. But why do you need to get revenge on people? Why can't you just feel better about yourself? Anyhow, I was listening to Chris Brown. I'm going to change the song because I don't want to listen to him too much. He's got some problems. He does have some talent. You have to admit that. Anyhow, it's getting late here too. It's almost 6 o'clock and I have to go. Someone's calling me. But I did want to show you once more my Instagram. I am going to, oh yeah, sorry. I get so distracted. I'm like, somebody's calling it. So here is my Twitter. And it's like, oh my gosh, why does everybody have to call at this time of day? That's my Twitter profile. I don't know if you can see it better. Maybe I'll just turn it like that. Does it snap? No, oh, there it does. There. Just shake it a little bit. It's Massiah. That's my last name right there. Oh, somebody's calling me at the same time. Again. Anyhow, so let me go to my Instagram so you can see. And I take pictures every day on my Instagram, and I work every day on my YouTube channel too. If I go back, I can show you some pictures from Cuba. I don't know. I don't think that Americans can go to Cuba yet. But in Canada, you always were able to go to Cuba. There's like really good trade, not embargo, but like a trade system. So here's some pictures from Cuba. I don't know. I don't think I put any videos or anything on here. But like that's from old Cuba. Like Havana, I mean. A square in old Havana and stuff. But yeah, those are the kinds of pictures that are on my channel. Or like photo shoot pictures, I put some of those up too. So check out my Twitter page if you want. And my Instagram, because there's a picture every single day. I like to go through magazines like Elle and Vogue, because obviously there's going to be awesome portrait photography in there. But you can also see, it's a trick that photographers use. If you get really close to a picture, I'm trying to see it in my own eyes right now. It's weird, but you can see right now where there's a reflection of the light source in my eye. Looks like a little box because I have a softbox, right? So you can see it on my eye. You can see it in my glasses too, right? Oh my God, it's weird. I can't show it. There. You can see the softbox on the top of my glasses right there. Anyhow, so that's the trick. If you look at magazines and stuff, you can see it in the model's eyes, the light source and everything, and how they set up the pictures and all that before they photoshopped it. So I would suggest you look in magazines and just check it out, and that's how you can not copy, but you can look at the style of other photographers and the style of models and things like that. Okay. So I have got to go, but I wish you all happy photos. And please go to my YouTube channel and sub my YouTube channel. Pretty please. It's newer but I would like to totally grow my YouTube channel much bigger. There'll be a copy of this video on my YouTube channel as well. Okay, bye!